Please stand for the playing of the national anthem by the Urbana High School Band. Please be seated. Good evening. I'm Nathan Seaver, principal of the Urbana High School, and I would like to welcome you to the 156th commencement ceremony of the Urbana High School, and welcome to the most beautiful graduation in the great state of Ohio. At this time, please welcome Superintendent of Urbana City Schools, Charles Steele.
Good evening, as Superintendent, and on behalf of the Board of Education of the Urbana City School District, I would also like to welcome you to the commencement event for the Urbana High School Class of 2026. At this time, I would like to invite to the podium Mrs. Hayla Parker from the Urbana High School Alumni Association to present the Distinguished Alumni Award for 2026 to our honored guest. Started as a joint venture between the Board of Education and the Urbana High School Alumni Association, this award was first presented in 2011. It recognizes an Urbana High School graduate who is noted in his or her field of endeavor or recognized for his or her expertise and accomplishments, and has demonstrated positive leadership and service or contributions to the community or society.
Good evening. The first thing that I need to do this evening is to congratulate the graduates of That's me. I was 1959. Yeah, look at me. I'm really old. But of 2026. Congratulations. I wish you the best life ever. And God bless you. Okay, this year's Distinguished Alumni Award recipient is Matt Lingrel, retired police chief, newly retired police chief. He began his career as a police officer in 1984 and worked his way up through the ranks to sergeant in 1996, lieutenant in 2008, and chief in 2011. Born and raised in Urbana, he graduated from Urbana High School in 1981. After playing football all 4 years, he and his wife Krista raised their family of 3 now adult children in Urbana. He has been a faithful supporter of Urbana athletics and Urbana schools and is dedicated to the safety and well-being of the community, and as he says, a lifetime hill climber.
First of all, thank you, Hayla, and thank you to the UHS Alumni Association for this great honor. Thank you also to Superintendent Thiel, Board President Thomas, the Board of Education, Principal Seaver, and Vice Principal Grigsby, teachers and staff, but most importantly, thank you to the 2026 Urbana High School graduating class for allowing me time to share this special night with you. On this special night, where we have the honor of recognizing the 2026 graduating class of hill climbers. I'm so very honored and humbled by being selected as the recipient of the 2026 Distinguished Alumni Award. I've had the great fortune to live my lifelong dream since I was 6 years old of serving this wonderful community as a police officer for the past 41 years, the last 14 as your police chief. I'm certain that my years as a hill climber set me on a lifelong path of the successes that I've experienced. While I'm thankful for many teachers and coaches in my life, I'd like to recognize three. Phyllis Narcross, my first grade teacher at East Elementary. Sally Kite, my 7th grade English teacher at Urbana Junior High. And Ray DeCola, my high school football coach. It was these three throughout my professional life as a police officer who took the time from time to reach out to me, to give me positive encouragement about what I was doing in my job as a police officer, as a husband, and as a father. Their encouragement to me was always a reminder to me of the fact that teachers and the lessons that they offer to their students never really ends. I always tried my best to live a life dedicated to doing the very best, to try to inspire others, in serving others, and most importantly, to try my very best every single day to try to provide hope to others, especially when they needed it the most. Now that I've retired as your police chief, I plan to continue doing those three things for the rest of my life. I'd like to thank my family, my sisters Missy, Noelle, Kristen, and my brother Andy and Gina who are here with me tonight. You've always been great cheerleaders for me, and I love you all very much. To my wife, Krista, who helped me in raising 3 hill climbers ourselves. My son Marcus and his wife Hannah, and our first ever grandchild, Sonny Matthew, are here with us tonight. Marcus is currently a teacher himself at Dublin Kaufman High School. My son Seth, who's here tonight in uniform somewhere, with the team of Urbana police officers that are here to look over us and to protect us. Thank you, Seth, for what you're doing for us. My daughter Sarah and her husband Colin. Sarah is also a teacher and a coach right here in Urbana. She's still a hill climber. I love her. She's continuing to serve and raise hill climbers. I love you all so much, and I thank you all for keeping me a meek and humble husband, father, and friend. And finally, I want to thank my childhood friends, members of the class of my class, 1981, my teachers, coaches, and teammates, and my family, to know that I've always lived my life in honor to you, but in service to God. I hope that I never let any of you down. Congratulations to the class of 2026, and thank you all so much for this wonderful award.
Thank you, Mrs. Parker, and congratulations, Chief Lingrel. Nomination information for this award can be found on the website for the Urbana City School District. At this time, senior band and choir members, please join your fellow performers.
find my way. If I can be strong, I know every mile will be worth my while. When I know the distance, I'll be right where I belong. Now
As I contemplated my comments for tonight, I began by reminiscing about some of my previous graduation speeches. For example, one of my early favorites was, "None of you are going to remember what I say here tonight," which was stated at my own graduation ceremony some 40 years ago. That message went on to say, you should be careful how you build your house because you never know when the building inspector will come. Coming from a local minister, this statement made me think he was talking about something more than just construction. I have presented about Bob the Builder. Can we fix it?
Yes, we can.
There we go, all right. And a book, Rules for My Unborn Son, which was meant to evoke simpler times when father knew best. And a suitable answer to why was, because I said so. I also referenced John Wooden's 7 suggestions to follow, like help others because it's the right thing to do, and someday you'll need help too. From a John Maxwell book, I shared about the qualities of a leader, like accomplish more than expected, go the extra mile, it's never crowded, and competent leaders can't have the attitude that good enough is good enough. I shared a favorite book of mine, Mike Mulligan and his steam shovel Mary Ann. The lessons of this story include craftsmanship and taking pride in the work you do, loyalty, and the ability to be flexible and adaptable. A couple of years I spoke on leadership qualities of Batman, like never underestimate your competition. And I've memorialized the famous social media influencer, Grumpy Cat. You know the one. I had fun once. It was awful. During the COVID year of 2020, I shared how I had this big plan to talk about 2020 vision and seeing things clearly. But the reality of that time was much, much different. Referencing the movie Top Gun and its more recent sequel, I once spoke about how you can create your own personal call sign based on your actions and what they say about you and how you're viewed by your family, your friends, and the community. One class was not too happy when I told them they were failures. Although I quickly followed up with the fact that we all have failed on our way to success. And then I reminded them that all we get is time and choices. Be wise with both. More recently, I've attempted to get more in tune with the current culture by having AI respond to the prompt, write a short graduation speech by a superintendent that references the Taylor Swift Eras Tour. And last year, I showed up and I showed out with all the riz. Some graduates thought it was mid, others thought it was sus, but those who were not Delulu caught the message to do good and be good. One message I've shared a couple of times just felt right though for tonight. The newspaper headline reads, "Impressive ceremony as graduates are awarded diplomas." The article then goes on to say, "Commencement exercises were held last night at Urbana High School, providing a stirring spectacle under the campus floodlights as seniors received their diplomas. The graduates, both literally and figuratively, put the school behind them. The girls and boys in a processional formed at the school building, lined up facing away from the castle, then marched down the hill to their places on the football field. In the trek down the hill through the center of campus, each marched about 6 feet behind the other. The line of graduates stretched from the school all the way to the field. The pure white outfits of the girls contrasting sharply with the maroon caps and gowns of the boys. Their scholastic days behind them, but with pleasant memories of their 4 years at Urbana High School, the graduates entered a new phase of their lives." No, this is not the scheduled headline and text of an article for next Tuesday's Urbana Daily Citizen, but it is from the June 6, 1941 edition of that newspaper. Other articles from that era also noted that arrangements were made to hold the commencement the next day in the event of inclement weather. And as the recessional was played, the graduates marched back up to the school. It was 85 years ago when, for the first time, a group of hill climbers walked out of the castle doors towards their graduation ceremony. 85 years. What a tradition. Parents, staff, and community members, please stand to be recognized if you have participated in this tradition as a graduate of Urbana High School. Graduates, best wishes on your future endeavors. Go Hill Climbers. Thank you.
Today's beautiful and traditional ceremony could not take place without the planning and hard work of numerous individuals. At this time, I would like to recognize the following for their assistance. John Deere and the maintenance and custodial crew, senior class advisor Katie Denies, school counselors Angie Evans and Valerie Leonard, administrative assistants Jamie Jacobs, Jessica Markin, and Holly Lewis, assistant principal Tony Grigsby, and our music directors Rusty Myers and David Sapp. Please join me in recognizing our 2026 retirees who walked down the hill with the graduates this afternoon. Please stand as we recognize you for your years of service to Urbana City Schools. Charles Steele, 29 years. Kathy Zaborowski, 19 years. Katie Denies, 28 years. And Rusty Meyer, 24 years. I would also like to recognize the following staff members who are not here with us in attendance today, but would like to thank Mr. Scott Blackburn for his 4 years of service, Robin Morgan, 30 years of service, Susan Blind, 22 years of service, and Lauren Baum, 30 years of service. Congratulations. Please join me in recognizing several special guests with us this afternoon. Please stand as your name is called, and please hold your applause until all are announced. Urbana City School Board President Daryl Thomas, Vice President Drew Sponheim, Board members Nate Long, Dr. Dan Koffenberger, and Tyler Wolf. Superintendent Charles Steele, Elementary Principal Melanie Anders, Treasurer Mandy Hildebrand, Transportation Director Mike Puhala, Director of Special Education Emily Smith, Urbana Junior High Assistant Principal Amy Heggie, and Ohio High Point Career Tech Student Services Supervisor Mrs. TJ Bales. As we express our gratitude and appreciation for the academic preparation, guidance, and support provided to the class of 2026 in their journey to graduation, would all faculty and staff of Urbana City Schools in attendance today please stand to be recognized. And finally, on behalf of the graduates, thank you to all of the parents, guardians, and family members and friends with us this evening who have contributed to the lives and accomplishments of the class of 2026. Your love and support has helped them reach this moment in time and will help them reach their goals and dreams in the future. This next piece I introduced probably a few years ago for a couple different reasons. One, it was to honor my mom in a poem that she wrote and read as a superintendent many years ago. And she was a rock star reading it. She never once stopped or paused for any emotion except one time, 25 years ago in 2001, which now as I say that out loud, that's a really long time ago. And then I wanted to honor her again and to read that as I was up here in front of not only you as the community, the parents, but also the graduates as well. And the second reason why I want to read it is because it touches a lot of different lives and hearts, especially as the parents, as all of the time, the support, the love that you put into these graduates. And it's just a time to reflect, to pause for a little bit, because time truly, as much as we want it to stand still, it flies by. Just yesterday they were probably walking around in diapers, and now they're walking down the hill to graduation. So again, it's a twofold piece: one, to honor my mother, and then again to honor the community and the graduates and the parents in attendance. Try not to be an emotional guy, but I am. And I told my mom, I said, what's the hard thing to do? You just read it, right? In the first year, I didn't do so hot. And as I was on my way home, my mom called me and she said, Nate, you're 0 for 1. Okay. So the next year, I told Mr. Grigsby, I said, all right, this is the year. No emotion, no pause, no nothing. And I started reading it, and probably by the third line, another pause. So then on my way home, my mom called me again, Nate, 0 for 2. So now, today, I called her on the way here, and I told her, I said, third time's a charm, right? This is the one. So with that in mind, I now want to again read this poem to you guys as the graduates and family members here. It's called And Then I Turned Around. It seems like only yesterday that you were 2 or 3, making no decisions of your own, depending only on me. Everywhere I would go, you'd follow me around. You couldn't even tie your shoes, and then I turned around. And you were going off to school, and you stand by the bus alone. I could see you beginning to make some decisions of your own. You seemed just a little afraid of this freedom you had found. You climbed aboard that big yellow bus, and then I turned around. And you were older and wiser, as independent as you could be. On the decisions you were making then, we could never seem to agree. The many problems of growing up would often get you down. I thought it would last forever, and then I turned around. Now I hear them call your name, and I see you stand. It's so hard to believe they're placing a diploma in your hand. For it seems like only yesterday, I carried you around. I held you for a moment, and then I turned around. Class of 2026, congratulations. I cannot wait to see where the future takes each and every one of you. It is now my honor to recognize the 2 students who have earned the highest academic honors for the class of 2026. Through hard work and dedication to their studies, these 2 students have distinguished themselves as the top scholars in their class. The student earning the 2nd highest grade point average is Nora Smith. Nora is the daughter of Aaron and Lisa Smith. She will be attending The Ohio State University and plans to study marketing.
Before I begin, there is something you all should know about me. I love Peter Pan. As I was trying to decide what to talk about, I realized that the story of Peter Pan was sort of similar to high school. So instead of giving a long, boring speech with advice that I am probably not qualified to give, I'm going to tell a story. Our story began 4 years ago, when a group of freshmen walked into the high school for the first time. After being in another building for 4 years, it was like entering a whole new world, just like flying from London to Neverland. We wandered the halls like lost boys, some of us a little more lost than others. Eventually, Neverland started to feel like home. We found many things that made our high school feel magical. A lot of friendships started in classrooms, at lunch tables, or at sports practices. But some of the strongest friendships appeared as happy accidents. Sometimes all it took was being forced to work on a project with someone we absolutely could not stand, and suddenly we were best friends. In the fall, we had Friday night football games to look forward to every week. After celebrating a game-winning touchdown, we would run home to finish an assignment 10 minutes before it was due that night. We also had school dances, which for most girls meant spending hours on hair, makeup, and finding the perfect dress. The best part of the night then was undoing all of that hard work and changing back into sweatpants. Every adventure has its challenge, and not everything in Neverland can be as magical as mermaids and fairies. With every story comes a villain, and for high school, the Captain Hook was usually the schoolwork itself. As we boarded the pirate ship at the start of junior year, we had to start considering what would happen when our adventures come to an end. Between hard classes, sports, college applications, and an endless amount of homework, it felt as though we were walking the plank. The adventure grew tiring, and we started to wish for it to end. In this case, we didn't need a Peter Pan to save us. Some days, we needed a little bit more faith, trust, and pixie dust, which in our case was Starbucks and ChatGPT, but we eventually made it through our last 2 years of high school. Together, we defeated Captain Hook and left him to the TikTok rock. Even though we have left the pirate ship, our time in Neverland is still coming to an end. As we fly into our next adventure, we shouldn't forget the friends and memories from these past 4 years, including ones who might help you write speeches. We might all be relieved to be graduating now, but there will come a time where we will miss crazy lunch table conversations, Mr. Shelley banging his head into cabinets, and even just Mr. Seaver's bald head. As time keeps ticking, we will eventually find a reminder, our second star to the right, and relive our Neverland adventures. Just know that to live will be an awfully big adventure, and yes, that is a Peter Pan quote.
Thank you, Nora. At this time, earning the highest grade point average for the class of 2026 is Kylie Johnson. Kylie is the daughter of Tim and Lori Johnson, and Kylie will be attending the University of Cincinnati and plans to study biochemistry.
Yeah, my stool. All right. Good evening. Yeah, okay. What a great start. Good evening, everyone. To start, I would like to thank my family, friends, and teachers who got me to where I'm standing now. Specifically, I thank my siblings, Trevor, Kara, and Riley, for always supporting me despite being a chapter ahead in their lives. But as much as I'd love to thank each person who inspired me or pushed me to succeed, that would result in a boring speech the length of a book. So instead, my speech is dedicated to the class of 2026. Congratulations to all my peers for surviving the past 4 years. Despite facing an army of homework assignments, a siege of procrastination, and a plague of drama, we finally conquered the war of high school. This chapter of our lives have come to an end as we embark on our next adventure. However, before we go our separate ways, I have a few things to say. So throughout school, I spent my time drifting from friend group to friend group. Each year brought new experiences, perspectives, and challenges as I was always on the hunt to find my people. In the moment, I never considered myself to be very close with anyone, as my friends always seemed to have other friends they hung out with more. But looking back, I realized that I did find my people. Whether it be my family, my friends, my band, my tennis team, or any other group I was part of, I was fortunate to always have someone to rely on or simply hang out with. The friends have come and gone. I have had many who stuck around no matter what. One such friend was Nora, the salutatorian, and the main person who drove me to always try my best. We may have been academic rivals, but we formed a strong friendship filled with helping each other with forgotten homework, completing numerous time-consuming projects, and complaining about anything and everything. Point is, I found someone I could rely on. But now, as we walk into the unknown, we will need to discover new people. While some will continue on the same voyage, many will set sail for their own journey. You may not find your people for months or even years, and you'll meet many who are only background characters in your story. Keep searching and don't get discouraged. One fateful day, you'll run into someone who ends up being the comic relief, the love interest, or the best friend to your narrative. As Nora said, we shouldn't forget the friends and memories, but while you keep the memories close to your heart, make room to grow and form new friendships. Allies are found in the least suspecting places and will come at the right moment. Don't settle for side characters who only appear in a single chapter. Find the ones who help you succeed and make you laugh. Eventually, you will find your people. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Good afternoon. I'm Tony Grigsby, Assistant Principal at Urbana High School, and I, along with Commander Larry Cook, will be presenting the American Legion Citizenship Awards. The Pierce Kearns Post 120 sponsors the American Legion School Citizenship Award for one male and one female student from Urbana High School. The students are selected for possessing high qualities of courage, honor, leadership, patriotism, scholarship, and service, which are necessary to the preservation and protection of the fundamental institution of our government and the advancement of society. The 2026 recipients are Vincent Lytle and Nora Smith. You're good. Congratulations. Thank you, sir. Of the 104 members of the class of 2026, 33% are pursuing a 4-year college degree. 20% are headed to a 2-year academic or technical program. 5% will be joining the military, and 44% will be entering the workforce. Those students proceeding to higher education in a 2-year or 4-year program, please stand to be recognized. You guys can sit. Thanks. Those students who have made the commitment to serve our country in the United States military, please stand and be recognized for your plans to protect the freedoms of our great nation. Those students who will be entering the workforce, please stand and be recognized. "35 graduates have been awarded local, institutional, and private scholarships to further their education. The class of 2026 has been awarded a total of $2,176,900 in scholarships. Scholarship recipients, please stand to be recognized. Urbana High School would like to express our gratitude to all of the generous individuals and groups who sponsor local scholarships, allowing our students to continue their education. The detailed scholarship information, including recipients, is printed in your programs.
I now have the distinct privilege of presenting the members of the Urbana High School class of 2026. Each has met all requirements of the state of Ohio and Urbana City Schools for graduation and is certified by the Urbana Board of Education to receive his or her diploma. In keeping the dignity of the ceremony, we would ask that all family, relatives, and friends stand to be recognized by all when their graduate's name is read. Please refrain from behavior that would detract from our ceremony or would not allow the next diploma's recipient's name to be heard by their family. Board President Daryl Thomas, Board Vice President Drew Sponheim, and Senior Class Advisor Katie Denise will assist with the presentations of diplomas as our amazing art teacher Leanne Simpson reads the names of the class of 2026.
Row 1, please stand. Kylie Jen Alwan Johnston. Nora Marin Smith. Avery Oriana Jenkins. Ezekiel Lee Wasson. Briley Marie Spriggs. Riley Nicole DeMoss. Alexandra Kathleen Dixon. Vincent Paul Lytle. Everett Glenn Chapman. Jaron Charles Howell Jr. Charlotte Amelia Tim. Layla Sue West. Evan Allen Upchurch. Sophia Christina Alvarado. Jason Douglas Sabin. Micah Daniel King. Morgan Day Boyd. Aubrey Ann Eggleston. Haley Marie Arnold. Destiny Elise Ramirez. Row 1, please be seated. Row 2, please stand. Louis Ostacon. Price Walker Bass. Kaylin Ann Bayless. Tyler Graham Brack. Kelly Louise Brim. Iana Mae Browning. Brandon Leland Campbell. Carson Michael Campbell. Braden Nicholas Canizo. Lacey Nicole Caton. Amelia Grace Clark. Colton Patrick Cotner. Lucas Michael Scott Crace. Maybelle Annie Nicole Davis. Rylan Tressel Davis. Laney Arlington Dingledine. Broderick Andrew Donahoe. Kevin Joseph Endress. Aubrey Ann Fentress. Row 2, please be seated. Row 3, please stand. Emily Marie Fisher. Ariana Lisette Garcia Franklin. Isabel Diane Grable. Sarah Riley Gonzalez. Abigail Jeannie Hall. Marion Elijah Joseph Herzl. Austin Michael Hill. Magic Isabella Ann Hill. Kylie Miranda Hopkins. Camden Alexander Johnston. Lucas Nathaniel King. Michael Randolph King, Jr. Camry Audrina Lance. Tristan Michael Lawson. Madeline Starr Long. Braden David Lowe. Brock Anthony Markin. Caleb James McLean.
Let's go, Caleb!
Connor Jensen McCoy. Liza Nicole Mitchell. Row 3, please be seated. Row 4, please stand. Aiden Joshua Moore. Xander Timothy Moore. James Delbert Nichols, Jr. Mary Catherine Ober. Liam Wesley O'Brien. Kane Michael Oliver. Emma Pearl Osornio. Brian Allen Harthamore Jr. Colt Dylan Prophet. Jesslyn Marie Puckett. Brooklyn Morgan Randall. Carson Michael Robbins. Hayden Allen Joseph Robinson. Jeffrey Allen Robinson. Samantha Madison Rohrer. Michaela Jade Rowley. Jonna Ray Sloat. Aubrey Madison Stokes. Row 4, please be seated. Row 5, please stand. Liam Thomas Taylor. Colton Keith Teepee. Jude Bright Ullum. Logan Connor Webb. Audrey Jean Eileen Williams. Lillian Renee Wisma. Layla Lynn Wooten. Kylie Alexandra Zabata. Row 5, please be seated.
At this time, please stand for the Urbana High School alma mater. The words are located on the back of your program, and please remain standing for the presentation of the class and closing. It is now my privilege and distinct honor to direct the class of 2026 to move their tassels and declare them graduates. Please move your tassels from right to left. Our graduates ask that you remain seated as they prepare for the Victory Bell ceremony. Please direct your attention to the northeast corner of the stadium as Vincent Lytle, class of 2026 representative, leads the ceremonial transfer of the Gene Zirkle Memorial Victory Bell to the Urbana High School class of 2027, represented by Hazel Lytle.
At the conclusion of last year's commencement ceremony, the Urbana High School of 2026 accepted the care and keeping of the Gene Zirkle Memorial Victory Bell. We have faithfully cared for and joyfully rung the UHS Victory Bell. Hazel, as representative of the Urbana High School class of 2027, you are hereby given custody of this treasure symbol of Urbana Hill Climber pride. By accepting this symbol of tradition and school spirit, you and your classmates will now be responsible to faithfully care for and joyfully ring this victory bell to proclaim the spirit and pride of the Urbana High School Hill Climbers.
On behalf of class of 2027, we accept.
Congratulations to the class of 2026. The band will now play the UHS fight song as graduates climb the hill for a bright future and prosperity. Family and friends, you may meet your graduates at the top of the hill for congratulations and pictures. Thank you for your attendance, and please drive safely.
Later on.